Okay, so obviously, FNAF has come out, and before any more discussion takes place, I want to actually get everyone's opinions on it. So, if we go from top to bottom, Dan, what do you think?
Oh, very good. I'm third, so
All right,
go on.
so yeah, so I've seen the film twice now. I saw it yesterday as well as a couple of weeks ago. I fucking loved it. I
Yeah,
thought it was so good. I loved seeing the animatronic were creepy as shit. Like the only problem I had with the movie is I wish it had been an 18, so we could have seen more of the animatronics ripping people apart. But yeah, I'm not very versed in the FNAF lore, so from that point of view, I didn't really have any knowledge. But as the film, I loved it. The only thing I didn't like about the film is the bit in sort of the middle where Abby was getting all friendly with the animatronics, and it was kind of like, these animatronics are meant to be, terrifying robots that eat people, right? And then, they're all just, building a fort together. That was kind of like, eh. But apart from that, I thought it was awesome.
what would you give it out of 10?
Oh, probably an 8, 8.5.
Cool. Okay, my turn next.
Okay.
Uh, I thought it was very enjoyable. I did enjoy it. I feel that they there wasn't. I felt like there was missing something. I just feel like there's not a lot of surprises in the film. It's like from the trailers, didn't think you didn't think. I just wish there was a few more surprises, if you know what I mean. And but overall, I did like it. I like Mike's story. I've been debating whether or not I think this is a better version of the story than the version of the games, because in the games, obviously, Mike is allegedly the son of William Afton instead of just some rando who's related to the victims. But overall, I quite liked it. In my experience with FNAF, I basically watched every game theory video, but I'd say I'd have to give it a 6 out of 10. Not because it's bad or anything, but I appreciate it more than I think I like it, because animatronics really good, made by Henson Company, same guys who've done the Muppets and everything like that. And obviously, it's always nice to see Matthew Lillard in something. And I'm just hoping that the sequel obviously will get a bigger budget, because just it's already broken 230 mil. Even
Mm,
well, because it was streaming on Peacock at the same time as it being released in theaters. So that's even more impressive, because the last time that kind of stuff happened, it was like Black Widow and the Suicide Squad released simultaneously in theaters and online, and
yeah.
they just bombed. Whereas FNAF is just keeps going strong. So yeah, I'd probably say 6 out of 10. And get into a bit more detail later, but that's my score.
Damn, 6 out of
Oh.
10.
It's not a bad score. I still like it. I'm just a bit more reserved when I'm throwing out numbers.
Fair enough.
So
I
Kira,
mean, should I go next or what?
Kira can go next, because she's next to me on.
Oh wait, yeah, sorry, my bad. I didn't see the order.
Yeah, no worries.
You can go if you want. I don't mind.
Uh, no, you go, you go.
All right. Uh, so I am a massive FNAF fan for the lore and the characters. I've never played the games because I'm a pussy. But I really like the concept of the fact that there's I know that Dan said that he doesn't really know much of the lore, so let me fill you in a little bit. So I like the concept of animatronics being haunted by children that have been killed and all that shit. I agree with Dan. I think the rating should have been higher. I think it was a PG-13 in America.
Really?
It was a 15 here though in the UK. But because it was such a low rating, I feel like they couldn't get away with as much gore as what? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh well, we're mainly talking about spoilers, obviously, but
I know I will get
if
onto that.
yeah,
But there wasn't really that much gore in the game anyway, so I don't
No.
know.
it's all implied.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a film, it's not a horror film in my opinion. I didn't feel scared really at all. There was a few bits where I was like on edge. That was it. The animatronics looked amazing.
Mm.
I really thought like I'm so glad they did like actual like practical like real things rather than CGI, because CGI nowadays seems to just be terrible.
I think that's where
I don't.
the budget really came in like clutch with that, because only 20 million they couldn't like really afford to spend it on like bad CGI. So I think that's working within the means, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I got a bit like, because I'm so like anal with lore, and like when video games are made into movies, I like it to be kept the same. Otherwise, I'm like, why have they changed that? Why have they changed that? I don't like that they changed some of the lore around. Like you said, like Mike wasn't William's like son. They made Vanessa the daughter, and I was like, why? I don't. But like my initial rating after watching it was a 6.5, but I think if I rewatch it again, I'd probably rate it higher, because I went into the like cinema with high expectations, and I think that kind of ruined it a bit, because if you go in with super high expectations, I think it's more likely you'll be disappointed by like tiny things.
I just wanted to ask actually about the law.
Okay, I'll try my best, but it's so like it started out fine, and then stuff kept getting added, and it's just this huge ball of fuckery. But it's sort of like got a timeline and shit. So
I think
Alright.
I can help out as well.
So
Yeah.
you know, near the end when William Afton, all the spring locks close and stab him basically.
oh, let me tell you, I was not impressed by that scene.
I thought it was alright.
And then
I was
It
so
needed to be
disappointed.
more violent, I feel.
I was so disappointed. Like I don't know.
Have you guys?
I mean,
sorry. Have you
And
guys?
then-
I
and then-
rewatched
wait.
it again, and it wasn't as bad, but like it could have been done so much better. I was
so my
like,
question is, right, when he just before he puts his helmet back on, he says something like
oh my god, I know
I
what you're
always
saying.
come back or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
What
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
does that mean?
This is one of the things I fucking hate that they did with the movie. Oh my god! Right, so he says that after he's died like 2 or 3 times in the games. So to say it there, is it 4 times?
I don't know.
Something like that. It's like it's
catchphrase.
yeah, it's like his catchphrase. So I think they were just
I
like,
know.
we gotta get it in there.
But like it was done in the most stupidest moment. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He's not died yet. Why is he saying it? They obviously did it because it's like, oh, fan service. Let's get it in there quick. But like, it would make more sense for him to say it in the next film after he's already died. That annoyed me so much. I think it annoyed a lot of people actually, because they were like, that makes no sense. If you don't know anything about the lore, why the fuck did you just say that?
Well, I think.
But how does he come back every time?
Okay.
That's what I want to.
Okay. Let me take this one because so basically.
Oh, here we go.
So basically, there's this thing in the books called a remnant, right? And
Yeah.
and remnant is basically like liquid soul, where it's basically when like someone dies, it's specifically or more evident in children when they die.
Yeah.
They're like spiritual essence is like leaks, and Afton has found a way to extract it, and the whole motivation for Afton in the games supposedly is that his son died in the Bite of 87, and
Yeah.
and so he's killing these kids and doing these experiments in order to find a way to revive his kid, and
Oh.
and then that kind of stuff it's not very evident, but it is in the film, because like when he stabs Vanessa in the climax, you can see it on his face that he really doesn't want to do it, and if you know about the lore, then you know why that hits is because his whole motivation is for his family. So the reason why he says I'll be back, I'm gonna play defense of the film in this scenario, because yes, it's a cringe line, almost as cringe as if like in the original like interview scene, he would say to Mike, "I've got this job for you. I'm gonna need you to spend 5 nights at Freddy's." Like if they said that in the film, it's like what's that? Like listen, Mike.
Hey, roll credits. Just
It's like I like that kind of shit. If they did that in the film, I think it'd be funny.
I especially
I-
thought that
I
the
think he
makeout
should've.
scene
I
with
think he
Mike
actually
and
should've.
Springtrap was very effective.
Oh yeah. But yeah. So the reason he says I'll be back is because he's already done these experiments, and and hypothetically, because we know, because at the very end of the film, in the post credit scene, it's not really a scene, but like some music plays, and that is for the puppet, who's a
Oh yeah.
animatronic in the second game. But the second game takes place in a different location, meaning that in the films, if we go there, then he's killed other people in another kids in another location. So
Yeah, the games aren't in chronological order.
yeah, but
Just putting that out, just to Dan, just in case he didn't know.
yeah, but
I did know.
Okay.
But what I'm getting at is the reason that I always come back is because through his experiments he already knows that if the reason he puts the helmet back on is because he knows when he dies his soul will inhabit the suit that he's currently wearing, so he knows he'll be back. So so playing defense for the film a bit, it makes sense in context because of what he knows personally. Like because if you know the secret to immortality, like coming back to life, and someone kills you, you're just gonna spite them to I'll be back. That's basically how I see it. Like if you know you're gonna like live through this, then I'm just playing a bit of defense for the film. It is cringe, but it's kind of funny.
I do really want to know all of the lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's, because everything that everyone tells me, I'm so intrigued by it. But for me, right? There's just there's no one place I can go to just read the entire lore of Five Nights at Freddy's.
I mean, just stick on the Five Nights at Freddy's playlist on Game Theory, and you'll basically get it.
Really?
Yeah, they're really long. There's the videos are always like hours long.
Not really. It's like Game Theory splits it in like 10. There's probably like between 10 and 20-minute videos, but it's like 100 of them. So
Didn't he make those videos though when the games were still coming out though?
Oh yeah, I think it's cool to see how like the culture and like the theories progress throughout the years. I think
It is cool.
if
Yeah.
if I were to recommend, I'd say do it like that, and then you'd be able to know what the theory was when the game first came out and how it changes.
Is all the lore explained through the games?
No, kind of.
No.
Because sorry, Kira,
Sort of. It sort of is. I remember the lore was never told like up front. It's one of those games, and I love it when games do this. It's one of those games where you have to piece together the puzzles, like the story and the puzzles, and you can find like secret stuff in the games or secret mini games, and then everyone's playthroughs are like different. Not everyone's, but some people experience things that other people's don't, and then the community comes together and they're like, what is that? What's that?
So a bit like a FromSoft game, kind of.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. And so obviously like in the first game you kind of get an idea, and people are like, oh, that sounds like a child screaming. Oh, there's like this poster that's popped up, and other people are like, oh, I didn't get that, blah blah blah. And then they started implementing like mini games. Was it in the second or third? I can't remember. The second, and that like kind of went into the lore more.
Yeah.
But Scott was like, he was never like super blunt about it, was he? He was always kind of like vague about it, and he liked people to figure it out, I think.
Well, we know like he never expected the first one to do so well, so the story definitely changed
Yeah.
throughout the years because he didn't expect it to be so big. But before we go any further, we still haven't heard from Zebo or Maidens about their opinions.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I got carried away.
No, it's my fault as well.
Cool.
So
I could talk about Five Nights at Freddy's for hours. It's a hype fixation.
One of the first texts you ever sent me was this huge ass paragraph explaining the entire Five Nights at Freddy's lore.
That'll be the autism.
So Maidens, what would be your overall thoughts?
I mean, I find it interesting that for me the score, I'd give the score like an 8 out of 10 because I don't really see it from a lore point of view. So my background is I have no idea what the lore even was. I knew barely the basic stuff. So the way that I like it is from just as a movie on its own. So if it was just a movie on its own and it had nothing to do with games or anything, but I think as a video game movie as well, it's done better than most video game movies. Like you got other crappy video game movies that are so they don't even I remember them for being bad, but for this one I remember it for actually being good. And it was kind of creepy at points. I didn't get scared. I think because I went to see it with someone, we just started making jokes about certain things, and I think that's what alleviated the tension. Still creeped me out at certain points, like with Foxy, I think it was, yeah,
Yeah.
Foxy's scare, because they actually used the sound from the game, which I think is a pretty good idea.
Oh yeah, we'll get to
That
that.
The
that
only
that scared
problem,
me. To be fair, that one bit where Foxy jumped at the screen. That yeah, no.
that was a bit fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, but also, yeah, just with the way that it was actually done, the pacing was really good. Everything was really good. It didn't feel like it stayed on the scene for far too long. The only weird thing I think would be a really good criticism is that Matthew Lillard's character. So Matthew Lillard himself is a really, really good actor, but he plays a certain character, and you can tell when you watch Scream or when you watch Shaggy, like from the Scooby Doo films, or when you actually hear him as Scooby Doo in like the cartoons, he has a certain thing to him that I can't really explain. But
Yeah.
basically, it's not a bad thing. But I think when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's, he literally, it's almost as if, yeah, this guy looks like a bad guy. He sounds like a bad guy from the way that he talks. He doesn't even sound like too bad. He just sounds a bit weird. So it kind of feels a bit off. So I remember like talking about it with my friend and I went, am I the only one who thought that, yeah, this is the guy that's gonna kill us or something like that? And yeah, sure enough, we're right. But
Oh, were you talking about when he
that's
first
probably,
appeared? Like
yeah, when he
right at the
first appeared,
beginning?
he just has that edge to him, and I don't know if that's from me watching so many scary films and whatnot, like thriller and horror, to the point where I can just tell. But with him, it was super easy to tell. I think
Mm.
even kids could tell it, like could tell he was the bad guy. It's just the way,
Except,
you know. And then with what Ethan said, like, yeah, you just gotta spend like 5 nights on Freddy's. I would just, yeah, yeah, of course he would. He's not saying it, but he's saying it, right? And he's saying stuff like, "Oh, the pay's not good" and everything like that. I think that's just another criticism. That's not based on the film. I think personally, if you gave me a job as a security guard in that place, you would have to double my salary. As for the animatronics, though, bloody hell, they're actually really, really good.
mm,
One of my favorite moments is when they're just playing the music. It's nothing scary. I just like it when animatronics just do what
Hmm.
animatronics do, you know. And then they
Yeah.
smile, and then they smile at the little girl, but they don't smile at the guy, which I think is kind of funny. I think there's a lot of good, funny moments as well in terms of this film, like that break up the tension a bit.
Yeah.
And then you understand why he acts the way he does. So when he tackles that guy, it's because his own little brother was taken, so he's
Yeah.
basically got like that trauma.
Yeah, I thought that was
Um,
actually a really good setup for his character. It was very, very effective.
yeah, because it makes you think like, yo, this is actually kind of because I was rooting for him because I honestly thought that was someone taking a kid, but when they realized, oh, that's not the thing, and then you realize he is actually kind of in the wrong as well because all he had to do was kind of just stop them, not beat him up, and then he would have been able to verify, oh yeah, I'm the dad and everything like that. So yeah, that was really good though. I would give it around about an 8, but I think if they sorted it out with Matthew Lillard's character not being super super obvious, I'm not sure how they would have done that, but I think they would have just had to tone down his weirdness. They would have just I think they should have just told him, um, you know, it's not really a good job. He needs to sound actually kind of bored because he sounded kind of frustrated when he kept losing his job. When Mike like, kept losing his job. So if they kept up with the frustratedness and the tired expression, I wouldn't have guessed if it was him. So like,
yeah,
yeah, that was.
there was also a bit where when he was on the phone to Mike at Freddie's, and he was talking about it, and then he puts the phone down and he looks directly into the camera. You can immediately tell, yeah, he's not a good guy. It's just like his mannerisms, basically from when he reads Mike's surname, because he stops. You know,
Well, I think that's meant to be that like Mike is like and his family are quite well known in the area anyway. That's what I got from that
yeah,
scene.
Yeah,
but
they
So
are
like,
well known.
yeah, so he didn't have to. It could have been like anyone could have reacted to hearing his last name. I felt that's what they were going for. But
mm,
but I would say I would like really blame two things. I wouldn't really blame Matthew Lillard in terms of his acting. I think it's I think it could have been the direction, And
Yeah, I agree.
because like he's a good actor. Like if you just like hear him in any Scooby Doo projects, he's so much range. But
Yeah, he would have been told, he would have been directed in that way. So, like when he goes on and gets his coffee, he has a very change in behavior after reading his name, and I think from that point on, it's clear that he's more nuanced than just being, someone to find him jobs. And then, when he just stares directly in the camera, you're like, okay, yeah, he's not a good guy.
yeah, but I think the other thing that makes him seem like such an obvious villain is I think this is like a negative when it comes to the budget because there are only 5 named characters in the movie. So you have Mike, Abby, Vanessa, and Matthew Lillard's character, and like you're like, okay, as well as like the ant. So we got like 5 characters. And then we know everyone's deal. So the only one left out by process of elimination is going to be the villain.
Hmm.
So like,
I feel like I'm the only person that did not know it was.
you
I actually
did.
feel like I'm the only person that when he was like there, I thought he was like just meant to be the phone guy. I didn't know it was.
Who is the phone guy in the game, so?
I didn't know it was.
Is it ever even explained? I thought he's just some guy. Like that's
Ashton.
literally.
Is it?
To be honest, I completely forgot about that phone guy crap. Like, I honestly thought, oh wait, I didn't even realize about the phone thing. It was funny because for someone like me trying to get into the lore itself and trying to piece together what it was, I found it better if I just let the film do what it wants.
Yeah.
Also,
No, like I felt like I was like, oh, the reason why he's acting that way to his name is because Michael is again with the law changing. I thought, oh, he's acting like that because he's just realized that this is William's son. So he's like, oh God, you're like dad's a serial killer. I didn't realize it was William that he was talking to at all. And then like later on in the film, when he took the mask off, I still didn't know it was the same person because I have really bad like face blindness.
In fairness, he was a bit sweaty after he took the mask off.
I was just like, what? And then like, I went to see it with like a friend, and they turned to me and they were like, it's
we do.
what's the fucking guy's
Shaggy.
actor's name? Sorry.
Shaggy. Yeah, that's it. Shaggy, not the
Yeah,
fucking.
I'm very disappointed we didn't get a Zoinks in this film.
Yeah, yeah, and I was like, no, it's not. I was like, it is. Oh, he's just got a beard. Oh my God, I couldn't even tell because he just had
Wait,
a
Shaggy
beard.
had a beard.
He didn't
No,
have-
the guy.
he didn't
No,
have-
but
he
he had
didn't
like
have
glasses as well, didn't he? And he's gained a bit of weight as well. To be fair.
I think it's just the suit looks big on him.
That's shaming.
Also, right. Also, the blonde kid.
Golden Freddy.
Yeah, that
No, that's not Golden Freddy. Isn't that just normal Freddy?
no,
No,
the kid
blonde
that
kid is-
possessed. No. Normal Freddy had a top hat on, but like the kid
Okay.
who then possessed that really broken Freddy that was
Mhm.
missing an ear.
The one without.
Who was that?
He was just one of the 5 kids. That's it.
Really?
Golden Freddy. Yeah, I don't like how little they used Golden Freddy, and like he was just so random at the end.
Well, I mean, like Golden Freddy doesn't
Yeah,
really
but-
do much in the games in the begin with. Like that's so
Yeah,
it's
he
kind of accurate
crashed
in
his
that
whole
way.
game. From what I remember.
Isn't he like one of the main like? Well, to be fair, he's not one of the main animatronics. He's like one of the like biggest
the-
mysteries, isn't he?
He's
In
like
the
the special death, like special
Yeah.
failure. Usually it's like I think it's usually Bonnie and Chica are the most aggressive in the games. Then there's Foxy who does his own thing, and then Freddy is the least active out of the 4, and then Golden Freddy even less than that.
I mean,
just
in the
chilling.
first one, it's Freddy that eats your face off if you lose like the power, isn't it? He comes in the dark and eats your face off.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
comes in
And
with his
Golden-
little lights.
And Golden Freddy, on like a rare occasion, just like sits in front of you, and that's how you lose. But Zebra,
It's
what
all
do you think?
linked. It's insane.
Hey, so saving the best for last.
Of course.
Eventually,
I thought it was pretty good. I would say 6.5. Yeah, I'm leaning towards 6.5. I'm bad at like giving like a score, but I'm gonna say probably around that. Yeah, I agree that it wasn't very scary. I thought the animatronics were kind of cute, honestly. I think just the way they were like interacting with each other and stuff. I wasn't I think maybe like the Golden Freddy one was a bit creepier, but the animatronics just weren't very scary, and most of the jump scares as well. There weren't really many jump scares, and most of them were just Balloon Boy. I feel like Balloon Boy was scarier than like
I
any of the
forgot about Balloon
animatronics.
Boy.
Yeah, I don't know why they put Balloon Boy in, because like they reference the puppet in the end anyway, so I don't know why they're putting
Well,
Balloon Boy stuff in
Yeah.
explicitly. Maybe it's just like
I
in universe it's supposed to like foreshadow.
There's a lot of
Um,
like
oh.
hints that the movie follows the lore of the books more than the games. I think.
I think it's just its own thing. I don't
But I
think it
think
can compared.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they used the books more as like a reference. I was more into FNAF when I was like 14, 15. So I kind of feel like the lore. If you ask me, I feel like the lore kind of it kind of fell off around Sister Location. I feel like Sister Location it jumped the shark, and then Pizzeria Simulator actually got really good again. But uh, yeah, so I didn't really mind them. Obviously, I feel like the lore's always been a bit of a mess, so I didn't really care about them taking liberties and stuff there. It's its own like timeline, its own thing. Um, yeah, I I thought it was just a fun kind of turn your brain off popcorn movie.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out, because I don't think anyone's mentioned it yet, but the cameos.
Oh no, we'll
The
get to that later.
cameos.
We'll get to that.
Okay, because I've got a funny story about my cinema.
I think we all know
Yeah.
what sort of that is, but yeah. So
I think
Yeah.
one thing I want to ask though is the face blindness thing. Because now that I mention it, I gotta agree with you. Because I thought the main guy that we were watching, I was just telling my friend, he looks so similar to someone. And then we both said out loud like Bridge to Terabithia. And like we're just like, why that film? Why that film? One of the saddest films of our generation, and I
Oh
had
my
to think
God.
about that while watching it.
I knew because I'd already read the casting, so I knew
I had
that
heard
it was
rumors
like
of Matthew playing, but I wasn't sure if they were true or not. I was like, is this just another meme? Like, is this just, like.
I felt
This-
like they needed like a few more characters, so there could have been like a red herring. Because the problem is like Matthew Lillard was like the most had the most personality out of any of the characters in the film. So it was just so
Yeah.
obvious. So
I
like,
But
really
he just
liked
like
the
shows
guy
up
that
5
played Mike.
seconds at the beginning and then 5 seconds at the end, so it's a bit like almost obvious in a
Yeah.
way, kinda.
There's a lot that I liked about it, but there's also a lot that I would change to make it better.
but yeah.
Like,
So
Does anyone
personally.
else remember, like, before they announced the casting? Like, I think Twitter blew up because they thought that Willem Dafoe was going to be Afton.
that
And
was,
No.
I want to
I think
say
that was a
I
fan
would
cast.
I wouldn't mind
it was
that.
it was a fan cast, yeah, but like it was like put on like Google as like the actual cast or something.
Yeah,
So people thought that like Willem Dafoe and Dane DeHaan were Will and
I mean,
Mike.
I'm happy with Matthew because
I thought he was like perfectly cast. Honestly,
but
The
I
weird
think
thing
because
is,
he
like, sorry to interrupt, but like when you mentioned like he was there 5 seconds at the start, 5 seconds at the end, yeah, it just felt like super weird to me because Matthew Lillard did play a serial killer in Scream, but the difference in Scream was he was basically always around the cast, so you couldn't really figure out he was the killer until much later when he actually is the killer. And it was really ingenious with the way that they did it because they had two serial killers at one time while everyone thought there was only one serial killer acting as Ghostface. So I'm surprised, like, if he wasn't the guy on the phone and, he was the guy given the job, then, like, part of me was thinking, who was the guy that was messing with the animatronics? Like, maybe the animatronics were being controlled and, he could have given off an impression that it was, but when it technically wasn't, stuff like that. But then again, I think because of the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's already being this big, I don't think they would have been able to do it. So, at least that's what my idea of it was.
yeah. But I think overall this is a really I don't want to, it sounds like really mean to say, but I think this is just kind of like just good enough if you know what I mean. Whereas like it does everything that the fans wanted, but doesn't really do anything more or surprising or shocking, if you know what I mean.
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry? I didn't hear you properly.
Oh, just it's just kind of like does like the bare necessities in terms of like a movie adaptation, where it's put in a lot of stuff that like everyone's looking forward to, but not much more. So I just kind of felt a bit, a bit.
It was
Bit
definitely a
disappointed.
movie made for fans.
Yeah, but I just feel like it could have
I,
been a bit better.
I,
You know what I mean?
I'm inclined to say as well, actually, that I think it's one of the better video game movies. I think part of that is probably though because no one really plays Five Nights at Freddy's for like the gameplay. I feel it's all about like at least when it was coming out, I remember it was more just everyone wanted to find out what the next thing in the lore was gonna be. You
I
know,
mean,
like
the gameplay is not terribly interesting. To be fair, it's just you
So the story's
you-
interesting.
yeah, it's more the story is interesting. The gameplay isn't. So like you said, you play it for the story, you play it for the lore, but you're not playing it for the game.
Yeah, but yeah. I've lost my train of thought, but like back
Yeah,
to
the games are definitely like. I wouldn't play the games for the gameplay. Like, yeah, it's definitely more. Oh, I want to know what the story is, or if you want like a cheap scare, because let's be real, like they're all jump scares. It's the easy scare.
I'm going to be honest with you. In terms of Five Nights at Freddy's, the times I did play it as back then, and when you said 14 years old, holy crap! Like, because how old are you, Zeb?
who me? 24. In fact, I just turned
Okay.
24 yesterday.
Oh right.
Happy
So
birthday.
I think yeah. I think
Happy
I was
belated birthday!
yeah. I think maybe I was like 12 or 13 when I was like exposed to Five Nights at Freddy's. And I remember playing as a kid. I didn't like it either. Of course, the jump scares scared me, fair enough. But in terms of the actual gameplay, it was probably one of the most boring games I've ever played, which is very interesting considering I've played horror games before, but the difference was like in stuff like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, you're doing a lot more than just sitting around and, because you're moving around a lot, you're putting yourself technically in danger. You're not really waiting for the danger to come to you because that's not how it works in those games, right?
Yeah,
And it makes me think, sometimes I think, okay, for a guy to go from Christian games to horror games and now making a movie about this is really interesting because the horror games that he made, in my opinion, weren't that great. And that's just my bias. It's mainly because I'm not interested in games where I'm sitting around like it's an office job. Because I think that was kind of the knack for it. Like he basically made a game of Job Simulator, but with before Job Simulator, and it's more scary because you're
I
trying to survive the night.
I don't
But
think that like I don't think that like the gameplay is why it got big, but I feel like it was the kind of atmosphere. Like
Yeah,
it's the kind of because
it's
I
like
would
arcade
argue
game
that
almost.
yeah, um I would say that like jump scares on their own aren't really that scary, like without any sort of build up or anything.
yeah,
But I think
I
the
think it
fact
was
that
the reaction to those
yeah,
jump scares, because
it's
all these YouTuber Let's Players and everything, I think they brought that popularity into Five Nights at Freddy's. If it wasn't for like all those Let's Players, I don't think Five Nights at Freddy's would be anywhere near it. So like,
yeah.
I'm hoping for
But
like
I do think
maybe
like
for like Silent Hill 2 remake or something, they start doing some Let's Plays and we start actually getting Silent Hill back up to where it needs to be. Because what
yeah,
PT was its own thing, and
yeah.
that's a way
But
better
like
game in my opinion, and that's a demo. And
but like
yeah,
the point I was gonna make is that like I thought with like Five Nights at Freddy's is just like the sort of the atmosphere of the game just kind of like perfectly builds up to like the jump scare, and I think that's why like the games the games I remember like finding really scary when I originally like played them or watched a playthrough of them. Same thing. And I thought that like the with the movie, it was just a bit more like there weren't really any like jump scares, but I also just kind of thought like I guess the atmosphere of the office, like the actual like office was perfectly recreated.
Oh yeah, the set was
But
like excellent, and like if you've seen any of the behind the scenes, like they just built the entire location inside a warehouse, and it's just really cool.
but I just feel like there was never really much build up because it just felt a bit more like I guess typical horror movie, like where it's a bit more like they're trying to make something like marketable, you know. and so
I
it's like very jump scare heavy, or in this case, not very jump scare heavy, but it just ends up being.
I think
Not
it's because of the
scary.
rating, right? Because what Kira said, it was
Yeah.
PG-13 in the States and then 15 here. Maybe if it was 18, then yeah, they could have done more. I think personally, in the time that they did it, and like I wouldn't want it to be extended or anything with like new scenes, but maybe just reworked a little bit so it's actually a little bit scarier. But
I
I don't know. I
really,
think it's got a nice kick to it. Like
I
it doesn't
can
have to be super scary in my opinion.
I can understand why they did like a PG-13, but I really hope they go R-rated for the next one, just because well, Afton's gonna be all like mangled and stuff in the suit now, so I
Oh,
feel
they
like it
get
kind of
over it.
makes
Yeah.
it makes more sense. It makes more sense for like the
I
next
hope they
one.
have him like take his like open the mouth like he does in the games.
Yeah,
So you can see his like corpse. That'd be really cool. But like I know why they did the PG like the rating so low. It's because like a lot of the fan base is really young.
yeah, they
That's
wanted
just
to
the
like
reality of it.
kids
I
and
mean,
stuff. So,
I
like,
think it's a better choice for them. Like, I don't think if it had like a 15 or an 18, like, I don't know how much better the film would be if like, because like if like there was like more blood. I personally think that can come across as like very try hardy and like. Have any of you
Mhm.
guys seen Ash versus the Evil Dead?
Yeah,
I
yeah, cool.
haven't. No.
I haven't. Nah, I've watched like
Okay.
the original.
Okay, well this is just for maidens then. Every basically in every episode of Ash versus the Evil Dead, there's a cold open and then there's a title screen, which is just some action that causes a ton of blood to just splatter onto the screen, and then that's basically just the title screen. Whereas like a deadite is just like has their head like bashed in with like a crowbar, and then that causes a blood splatter onto the screen, spelling out like Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Evil Dead in itself, well, it's a really old franchise, and I think it's trying to be campy. It's trying to be like a cheesy sort of. It's not even that scary. It's
Like,
more of a cheesy sort of horror
It's like,
film.
it's like
Yeah.
comedy horror.
No.
That's what I like about it. But
Yeah.
like, the reason I brought it up is like, it's like that kind of stuff. I feel like the Evil Dead. That's like what would be different. As in, like the only real difference I think would be is if the Springlock scene at the end. During that, it's just like blood splatter like all over the place. That's like the only thing I can really think where there'll be like much different. And like I'm fine with it being toned down because I don't really and like it being at that age rating. There's a lot more potential audience and meaning more money, meaning more films potentially. So I'm kind of okay
mean,
with that compromise.
I
I
feel like
don't
you
like
can.
how the spring lock scene was handled.
I
mean,
think
slow.
you can
I
do.
I think like Bones should have been like popping out and shit. That would have been like, a little bit much, but for me, I would have liked that. And
I would have liked that too, but again, it goes back to the fact that it was a 15 instead of an 18. So I don't think they could show that.
I mean,
Oh,
I think
sorry,
another
Zeb
thing
was
as
gonna
well.
say something.
I
Sorry,
think
what
that
were you
like
gonna say?
I was just gonna say like with like R-rated stuff, because I think that there is kind of I think you can do like really good not necessarily like horror, but you can still do like I guess horror and like adult themes and stuff with like a PG-13 rating, just as you can like something that's R-rated but like fairly tame with like
Yeah,
maybe
you don't need loads of blood to like make a good like horror movie.
yeah,
if the
but I
direction
just
was better, then they could have got
I
away
always
with it.
feel like I feel this a lot with like it's just slightly different, but like I feel this a lot with like Marvel and like MCU is I always feel like if they usually try and do something PG-13, they kind of try and do something that feels really tame and really safe. Um
Yeah,
like for instance like the Batman Robert Pattinson's Batman is like a PG-13, I'm pretty sure.
probably.
And that is or Nolan's Batman as well. Those are like really dark and like for what they are, but they just know how to really like push that rating. Whereas I think a lot of like a lot of like superhero stuff now, it's either it's got to be R rated, so it's got to have like be super like violent and have like everything, or it's PG-13 and there's basically like nothing adult or whatever. Maybe like just I don't know.
I mean,
Was there any swearing in it? Did anyone swear in the movie?
I
Yeah,
don't
there was
think
one
so.
swear, wasn't it? Right?
PG-13, you only get one F word.
Yeah, was it used?
Maybe.
I want to say no.
I don't
I
think it
don't
was. I
remember.
think I would have remembered if it was.
I don't really think it matters. Like I kind of prefer films not to have profanity in it because I just think it comes across kind of cringy.
William Afton dropping the F bomb.
Have you seen the edit of him like being like you're all like fucking like Sigmas? Oh my god, I love that so much.
No, you know what? I love those Sigma edits. They're so cringe, but they're so good. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is actually one of my favorite films, and it's Drive.
Oh,
Haven't seen it.
with
Yeah, I'm surprised
Ryan
Ethan
Gosling.
hasn't seen it because I tried to get it in the cinema because it was its 10th anniversary, and I was thinking maybe there was a way for us to all watch Drive, and I really liked the film. But when Barbie came out, because Ryan Gosling is playing Ken, people started editing Ken,
Yeah,
Ryan
as
Gosling
like.
from Drive, and putting it into Barbie with the same music.
Or have you seen that?
It's so funny.
Have you seen that picture of like Blade Runner, but
Yeah, that as well.
with Ken?
But yeah, basically because in Drive, Ryan Gosling's a driver. Like Ken is just saying, "I drive," and then it just goes. It's like really funny. Like I feel like they should have done that for like maybe like Shaggy. So he goes from Shaggy to becoming William Afton and stuff. But yeah, like that, I think that's another thing with the whole face blindness thing. Once you realize who you're watching, you start thinking of their previous roles, and it's kind of hard to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Because Shaggy in itself, and even the Scream Killer, it was not scary back then. It was way more funny than it is now. So I kept on thinking of William Afton as Shaggy. I could only see him that way.
Well, imagine if like they got like the cast of the live action Scooby Doo movies just together and they just do a sequel like 40 years where they were just like all like at their current ages and what that would
Oh
turn
my
out
god,
like.
I would actually like that because what I think the I'm not sure if it was for the movie actors, but I think the voice actors for Daphne and Fred, they actually got married in real life, so you could use something towards that. Um, and then you got the crap that was Velma, you know. I feel like they could
We
do
don't
some
talk about Velma.
Yeah.
no, but they could do some like in cheek, like some tongue in cheek joke about how they looked at that Velma and went, "Holy crap, how bad was that?" Because it's just a self insert of Mindy Kaling.
Or
Like
is it
I watched one episode and I understood why everybody hated it,
also
and but I never understood why they went to the lengths to make it that bad. I think if you want to make something bad, you should probably take a step back and think, is this really good for me? No, it isn't. But and then you got Fred's character. Like I think Fred's character can drop the F bomb because he doesn't have a
Like Jeepers, fuck.
yeah, zoinks, rutro, jinkies, jeepers, fine.
I love that.
Yeah. For Fred in himself, I think Fred is like one of the funniest characters because I think in the films, like in the live action films, he acts like he's smarter than he actually is, and then he just gets completely obliterated. But it's totally fine because that's just Fred. And then somehow Shaggy it always ends up with a girl or something in cartoons and in the movie as well, even though that girl was probably what was it like a spirit or a robot or something? I can't remember.
No, she was normal before getting on Sound. It was only after they got on the island that they could have been overtaken. But we can save that for we'll do a podcast just on the live action Scooby Doo movies.
We
Oh
also-
man, I will
we
watch
like
both of them
binge.
again.
Yeah.
Those are way too good. I think they were basically made for the adults. They were not made for kids in mind.
Oh, unquestionably.
They were originally going to be
Yeah.
R-rated. That's
Imagine
facts.
that though. I wouldn't mind an R-rated Scooby Doo. Like, you know what would be better if Scooby Doo wasn't CGI? He was just a mutt, and like, he stood on two legs. I wouldn't mind that. It would just be really creepy. And they don't wonder the mystery about Scooby Doo. They just wonder the mysteries about whatever they needed to do.
Yeah, but
And
Monsters Unleashed, the sequel, I think is unironically good. Like there is. Sorry.
Sorry, would you say the first one or the second one is better than?
The second one's easily better, and like there are some stuff that I would cut out, but like the whole like Velma subplot is like kind of useless, in my opinion. But other than that, like I think it's unironically a good film.
Were there any other live action? There wasn't any other live action Scooby Doo films, were there?
There
Or
were.
is
There
it just
was
There were,
There's
but they
two,
changed
right?
the cast. I think.
there's 3 plus a as Mystery Begins where they first meet in high school. There's Daphne and Velma, which is just the 2 of them for some reason. And there is another one like the Swamp Beast, but with completely different actors.
Sorry,
Oh.
it's just remembering that whole the whole bit where he's got the muscle suit and shit in the Scooby Doo one. Is it
Uh,
number 1? I can't remember. I think it is.
I
Oh my
love
God.
it. I love this line, by the way. Dorky chicks like you turn me on too.
I
Yeah.
literally
wish I
that went
could use
over my
this.
head as a kid.
I wish I can use this in like somewhere without obviously getting arrested or something. Because no, I feel like in Cineworld, I would have been able to use this line like repeatedly to someone, and it would just like tear me the hell up. But yeah, I find it funny when I was a kid because we used to gain like celebrity crushes and all like that. You know, used to gain crushes on the people that I used to watch. And I remember back as a kid, nobody went for Daphne. Everyone went for Velma. Like nobody has actually liked Daphne whenever I heard it. They were just like, yeah, Velma's better
Always
because she's like
Velma.
smarter and everything. So it meant that the world was on a good pace back then. I'm not sure how the world is now in terms of attraction to people, but yeah, Velma herself was just a bombshell back then.
Well,
And I
Yeah.
think in the second film as well, she was just way too hot. Like I think they actually nerfed her.
yeah, but like with the Velma TV show, imagine if that was just a psyop by Daphne fans to take it down a peg.
Probably, probably that's why Velma exists. Is because, you know, Daphne, like Daphne fans wanted her to be hated. But no, with the way that Mindy Kaling made Velma in that one, it's because main reason why Velma wasn't attractive or like good in that one is because she's not Velma. Like Velma herself, she's got wit and she's very sassy, but she can back it up with her intelligence and everything. Like her intelligence is her driving, like for me, is what makes her really, really attractive. So when she's like doing something and you know she's actually really good at what she does, it's like, yeah, that's for me, really. And Zeb just had like Giffen. I ain't looking at that. I'm respectful.
Yeah, I'm just hoping like we get like the next Scooby Doo project is actually good because it needs to
Oh,
be like if the pendulum
it-
just swings the other way, and hopefully we'll get something like that's like as good as like Zombie Island or like Mystery Incorporated.
yeah. Actually, I really like the animation of that one as well. With what Zeb said. When I saw that, I was just like, yeah, they're going back to their roots. Like they because honestly, this kind of animation kind of reminds me like we should go back to them. Like it doesn't have to be hand drawn, but if it looks like that, like it is hand drawn, then I'm not fussed.
You're
Right,
talking
yeah.
the
It's like
cell
classic.
shading, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
or cell animation
yeah.
and stuff.
Or
But
back to FNAF for a bit. Let's talk about some of the
Hmm.
cameos because we were going to get into that earlier.
Oh
nice.
God, yeah. So I wanted to say this. So okay. So we all know Matt Pat showed up about midway through the movie.
Sorry, real quick. I forget who it was, but does someone have to go soon because it's almost 1:30?
I'll leave around like 1:35. Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
just don't want to keep you if you have to leave.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll leave when I have to.
You can resume then.
All right, so Matt Pat shows up about midway through the movie. He drops his famous catchphrase,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure my cinema was like dead silent. Corey
same.
Kenshin shows up, and he was in the fucking trailer as well. Corey Kenshin shows up as a taxi driver, and my cinema loses it. Like they literally start cheering and like.
Like, what does Corey Kenshin have to do with FNAF, by the way? Because I had no idea who he was.
I
before.
don't even know who he is.
He's played FNAF, hasn't he? I don't know. I don't
he's
really
Let's
watch
Play.
him
I only know him
religiously.
from
Yeah.
that one video about like racism and favoritism that he made, and that's not someone else.
Yeah, and that's true. Unfortunately, that is actually kind of true.
Yeah, that's where I
It's
know him
just the
from.
way that YouTube works.
Yeah, but
y-
I've never heard of him literally until I don't even know who he was in the movie. Just thought he was another actor.
He was the taxi driver.
Yeah,
I think-
I don't know who he was. And
Yeah.
like even when Matt Pack like came on, I again just fucking
You didn't know.
facial blindness. I was like, he said like that's just a theory or something, and
He
I was
said
like,
nothing.
wait. I was like, wait, wait. Like my cinema was quiet, and I was just looked over at my friend. I was like, that's African
I
Papa?
mean,
Yeah,
what's his face?
I mean,
Yeah.
when he
Was meant
said it's just a theory, I literally groaned because I was like, not
Yeah,
gonna
I,
lie,
like,
this
rolled
guy
my
was kind
eyes.
of annoying.
No, I
He was
liked it.
annoying within 5 seconds.
They had to do it. They had to do it. I liked it. Like, I like it when
They
do
had,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
It was quite
Yeah.
cute.
I like rolled my eyes, but in like
Like-
I mean, you say that, but if he didn't
Oh,
say it,
you.
you'd be upset.
True. You make a good point. If he didn't say it, like, because I was expecting him to say it, to be honest, and like he said it in the way that he always says it as well. But I think another person. This is really, really late, so there's no way they could have added him in the film. But there's an animator called Dubus Goobus, if anybody knows who he
Yeah, I
is.
know him.
Yeah, he's way too funny. Like, and he makes a like Five Nights at Freddy's animation, a really short one, and it's just Freddy as a bear, like not as an animatronic, like just a bear, like a grizzly brown bear, and he's just making the noises like and then Dubis is just like, could you just get out of my room, please? I don't know who William Afton is, and it's just kind of wholesome. I wish they could have brought that into the film.
Oh
like,
my god.
like a kid is holding like maybe an old Freddy plushie that they used to sell in the 80s, and his dad is Dubis Goobus acting all bloody annoyed because he's like, yeah, because his kid is making the song. He's humming the song. He's like, you keep humming it for like 30 minutes straight. Could you just please stop?
Yeah.
And
What they should have done is had on like the wall of pictures, just had a ton of like FNAF fan art from like a couple of animators. That would have been cool.
Oh yeah,
thought-
that would actually.
I thought that's what it was. Like they just brought in like fan art.
I know that's just like random stuff, but I don't know.
It's like kind of it's a nod to like a lot of the stuff in the games.
There is actually a wall of employees, like employed a month, and that's like a ton of YouTube.
I had like Dorko on it and stuff.
Yeah, but like you can't
Yeah,
really
I
see
get
it in
the
the
picture.
film. But fun fact.
Oh, did you?
Oh, you first. Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say Matt Pat's character's called Ness.
Oh, I was about to say that. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was gonna say.
Oh, for God's sake, of course.
And like it was I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, I was about to say Toby Fox.
Scott
Yeah,
Cawthon.
Scott Cawthon actually told him told him to
Yeah.
have that just to mess with him. But yeah, like I think as Ziba, you were gonna say earlier, but yeah, the security guard in the beginning, he was supposed to be
Yeah, Markiplier, yeah, but he
filming
I think because he's making Iron Lung, yeah, so
yeah,
he was too busy.
yeah, those were like the big cameos, and real quick, I want to sort of
I
like,
mean, I'll be honest. I don't think I would like Markiplier at the start. I think that's way too early for a cameo because it's kind of just like, oh, the Markiplier scene. It's there, you know.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
you're having.
I actually liked it when it was just some unknown person because if you think about it, the type of person what William employs is meant to be an unknown person. That's why he keeps on getting away with it, you know. But like obviously in the universe, Markiplier would be unknown,
Yeah.
of course. But you know, it's just for my benefit. I'd probably just want someone normal, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you got the people trashing up the place, yeah, they were kind of unknown as well.
Yeah, well,
I think the cupcake one was a bit fucked up though. Man, he got his face eaten. Like,
I
damn,
didn't like the
that was
cupcake.
pretty good.
Like the cupcake got more time, like screen time, than fucking Freddy. I swear.
yeah, I guess, but
I feel like the
It's
cupcake got the most
okay.
kills, I feel.
It did, but also like the thing that bothered me the most was like I didn't like that the cupcake was the cause for the spring lock failure. I was like,
yeah, I agree
oh,
with that.
okay.
It's like in the original games, like it's like you're supposed to keep them dry, but like it's like after them being, because I would have thought that's what they were going for, because when he took the helmet off, he was extremely sweaty. So I thought that's what that would happen when they turned him. He just got like extremely like afraid, and just like started.
Yeah,
sweating
because
and
in the game he
locked
gets
up.
cornered. He gets cornered by the spirits, doesn't he? In the game, and he hides in the suit to like try and like
scare
get
them.
away from them. But then like obviously he starts laughing, and the suit's in like it was kept at the back, wasn't it? And it was all like drippy and moist and raining and shit.
And he was like
And that's
afraid,
what
so he was
caused
sweating
the
as well.
failure. Yeah, and that's what caused the failure. And then he died, obviously, with them all watching him, which was similar to the film, which is fine.
It's similar.
It's
but,
just I just felt it was like, oh, okay, the fucking cupcake did it. That's a bit stupid.
I mean, no, I agree as well.
Fucking
He's not
cupcake
very
gets the
smart
final
if he's
kill.
getting into this suit. They can just, skewer him. You would have thought, having been able to make these animatronics, he would have,
He
made
did.
them in a way that they didn't murder him.
Okay, so he
I
didn't.
think
he
he
didn't make
felt
the
like
animatronics.
I think he felt like untouchable though. I think he had like a god complex or something.
Yeah. So in the games and books, William Afton doesn't actually make the animatronics. His partner Henry does. Or
Is it not him as well? I thought it was both of
I think it
them.
was. I thought it was both of them because when he moves on to like sister location, he makes all of those, right?
Because
Because
Like he
didn't
made
he
Circus
made
Baby.
like he made baby, yeah, and then his daughter got fucking yeeted.
not originally.
Like-
According to apparently according to the law, from what I know, is that he made the costumes by hand, but because he did the people in the costumes like the spring trap suit, but it was only after meeting Henry that he was a whiz with robotics that he was able to merge the two ideas together. So
Yeah, because yeah.
so like he learned
Yeah.
from Henry afterwards, but originally it was like the first like original animatronics all the original 5 are Henry's designs, I believe. But real quick, what does everyone think about like the animated intro? Because I quite liked it.
If you don't know anything about the lore, you might be a bit like, what is that?
I'm
It
trying to
kind
remember
of
what it was. It's been a
it was
while.
it was like a pixelated, like kind of like the mini
Oh,
games sort of
yeah.
version of it. It was showing like the golden rabbit, like purple guy,
I thought it was kind of cool. It was
taking all
kind
the
of true to
children
the
away.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I-
so from what I got from that, not knowing anything about it, is the Golden Rabbit, William Afton, right? Luring away all these kids and essentially just murdering them.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's
Yeah.
basically it. Yeah.
So I think I think it was really cool, and it was a really good addition.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
I think there's only one more like cameo, not really a cameo left, but it's a big reference. The outro song from Living Tombstone.
I literally
I believe
almost-
it.
I started like pissing myself in the cinema.
Yeah, like, I think it's such a great touch that they did it. It's like, regardless of like the quality of the film on an objective measure, like everyone who was on board like obviously cared, and everyone was and like it was just like a passion project for a lot of people.
You know what they were missing though? They were missing the beatboxing guy. They needed the beatboxing guy in the movie.
What beatboxing guy?
What are you talking about?
You know the or
Oh,
I think that's a bit too.
I ain't gonna beatbox.
I was so terrified. Like I was putting off seeing it in the cinema for so long because I was so terrified there was going to be just so many people like just being stupid in the cinema, like doing that throughout the film and like other things. Because I know that like Five Nights at Freddy's, a lot of people just make loads of jokes out of it, and I was like, I swear to God, if anyone ruins this, I'm throwing my shoe at you.
I mean, it is kind of like a meme franchise. I feel.
Yes, that's why I was so worried about going to see it. But I was put a little bit more at ease at the fact that like no one
feel
under
like
the age of
you can
15
be-
was allowed in.
I feel like you can be as cringe as you want as long as you're not like cringe in public.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never once like whenever I go to a cinema, I'm always quiet, and I respect like the fact that people have paid to see
I mean,
this.
I was literally in the cinema like by myself, so I feel like if I just started like breaking out the whole like just to myself,
You would
like,
die.
Yeah.
You would absolutely get targeted.
Yeah, there's just one.
I wouldn't make it out of that cinema alive.
Yeah, where there's like
I think I should have went to see it by myself again because when I went with my friend, I found we always make jokes in the cinema very silently, and then right after like we just walked out, we just kept on like just talking about the film and the animatronics itself, and then a meme comes up on Instagram when I'm looking, and I'm like, look at this. Thought she was my chica, but she spent 5 nights at Freddy's. I was like, why is this so dumb? It's so dumb, and I'm laughing at it.
Did anyone else like the bit in the movie when the girl got fucking chomped in half?
Oh,
My partner
God.
just looked at me and goes, "Is that the bite of it you suffered?" For fuck's sake!
I think I'm pretty
I
sure
just laughed
everyone
at
in
that
that
bit, I'm not
cinema
gonna
was
lie.
thinking it. It's just
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, like the film takes place in the 90s. By the way, I don't know if anyone.
Oh
knows.
yeah.
In the
like
90s?
no there's like no
Yeah, that makes sense.
mobiles or anything they all.
Yeah.
I mean, that is when it's like based off of, isn't it? Anyway,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I
By the
don't
way,
know, like I don't know when
sorry
Chuck
to
E.
interrupt.
Cheese was a
I
thing.
gotta go. So
No
I'm
worries.
How
going.
dare you?
That's how
Yeah,
you hear.
peace out.
Yeah, I'm
We got
out.
to
Sorry,
record.
bye.
We'll see you
That's
next
okay.
time.
Bye bye.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
And then there was 4.
Indeed.
But yeah, I swear. When did Chuck E. Cheese become a thing? Let me just look it up.
The 80s. Has to
Was
be
it Chuck
or late
E.
70s.
Chuck? I can't type.
All's
Cheese.
entertainment cheese.
Yeah.
It was founded in 1977.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I guess like animatronics were probably around for a while.
I think that's where they
So
like
it's-
first debuted. I think they would have been like stuff like Disneyland or something, maybe in the 60s. But
No, wait, it can't be in the 90s. No, it could be in the 90s because obviously, like the two main, if we're following the law of the games, which I don't know if we are or not
I'd say
at the minute.
I-
The bytes are, was it the 80, 82 and 87? Or am I getting that wrong?
I thought it
83?
was 85 and 87.
Oh, you know what? I can't remember.
I'm literally just rereading the text that Kira sent me, and you said 83 for that.
Byte of 83. Byte of 83.
Which is different to the 87.
Yeah. Byte of 1983. Yeah, and then there's another byte of 80. Yeah, so the byte of 83 was the one where the Golden Freddy like bit on William's son.
Michael's
And then the other
brother.
byte, I think, is the byte of 87 must be the byte that Mangle did then. Well, it's assumed. It's not actually
Yeah.
confirmed, is it? So
Yeah, maybe.
it's confusing. It's confusing. The lore is great. It's just confusing. There's so much.
It's fun. I like. I just think it's like the lore is fun, and like obviously like the film
It's so much fun.
is different. I feel like it had to be this way because if they did follow the games where like William is Mike is William's son, then they would have to because the whole motivation is like vengeance, revenge, and atonement. So they would have to like hide a lot of information throughout the entire film, or just do a ton of exposition.
I think they would have to do like what it's like in the game, where they like have hints and like maybe little background Easter eggs hinting up to maybe the next film.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be as much of an entertaining film because then you'd have to keep so much of the protagonist away from the audience for so long. Then I feel
that's the problem.
So
Yeah,
I feel like the changes they made for it being like a series of films was the correct choice, even though I think the original, it being like a tale of revenge, I think is more interesting.
I am like curious to know how they're gonna do the second film though, because like, do you think they're gonna do like a lot of flashbacks, or like I just don't understand, like, because obviously the puppet's been heavily hinted, so I'm not sure what the like.
I reckon
Yeah.
either it's a load of flashbacks, or maybe they'll just do a typical follow-up, but they'll just make like the toy animatronics like the new ones.
What I am hoping for is for some sort of inside incident happens in the second film, where Mike takes it upon himself to go to the other location, get a job there, with the mission of trying to help the spirits that are trapped there. And it'll be more similar to the games at that point because Mike would be there for the explicit purpose of helping them. And that's what I hope happens. I don't know if that's what they'll go with. That's what I hope, but that's just a theory.
A game theory.
I tried my hardest not to, but
It just came out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
nah.
Is there anything else that we're missing?
No, I
found out.
What would go on? Sorry.
I found out about the F-bomb, by the way. There wasn't one, but there was supposed to be one apparently. It was meant to be dropped by Corey Kenshin in the taxi at the end of the movie.
Oh, I
It's
feel like
jump
it could have
scared by
been
Balloon
used
Boy.
like way better.
It's like fuck you.
I personally, I feel like what should have happened is they should have like they should have like put it at the beginning of the movie, when the phone guy is talking to Mike and he just goes, "You've got to work 5 fucking nights at Freddy's, man."
Like 5 fucking Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it could have been when he says, I always come back and be like, I always come fucking back.
I always come fucking back.
I would much prefer like them just saying you need to spend 5 nights at Freddy's over just saying like using like fucking random sentence.
Yeah, I mean obviously, but
Like I kind of hope in the second one we'll get the line like we're staying 5 nights at Freddy's or something. I just find that kind of stuff funny, like titling the film, especially when
Yeah.
it's such a long title.
This isn't just the average Five Nights at Freddy's. This is the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location.
Oh, no, this is a 5 Nights at Freddy's 2. No, I just find it I just find that kind of stuff funny, like especially when like I think the meme is like funny when it's like the title just like makes no sense. Like I'm trying to think of one. There's like it's like if like in like the second Scooby-Doo live action film, if they like said like Scooby-Doo, like if they're talking like Scooby-Doo, there are monsters that have been unleashed, or something like that. I just find that kind of stuff hilarious.
But like when they say like the title of like the movie or whatever.
Yeah, especially
There's
if,
like
the
there's
title's,
literally like a whole
really
meme
out
of
place.
it. Let me find.
They said the thing.
Like, there's a whole Family Guy episode about that as well. And it's like,
Yeah,
Peter
I have to
gets
be
pulled over,
Superman
and he's
4.
like, I won't tolerate drugs. I'm a family guy. Or
Oh,
something
for
like
God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
like
gonna start posting a couple funny ones in the chat.
yeah, I just find that kind of joke funny.
that.
Like what's
Oh my God, that's really bad. Oh. Yeah, they are great.
Patrick, it's you. You're the American Psycho. Shit, Tony. I guess I'm Iron Man 2 now. Yeah, I just find that funny.
So if you could change, say one thing about the movie, what part would you change and why? Or if there's a few parts, what would you change and why? And what do you think was done right?
I think we can all agree that the
what I would-
animatronics are done right though.
Pardon?
Like the animatronics themselves, I think we can all agree were like spot on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think we can all agree there's nothing wrong with them at all. The only thing I would say, like, who said they were cute? Was it you, Zeb?
Yeah.
They were kind of cute.
I think that works. They're supposed to be like mascots for like a entertainment.
I know,
industry,
and
so.
I think people forget that they're like animatronics can't move fast. Well, I mean, I guess they can, but like sometimes I wish they would like have a bit more unnatural movements in the movie. But I don't know how they would have implemented that. Just because they are meant to be haunted, they were a bit too robotic. Although, do you remember the bit when Freddie, like, Mike was hiding from Freddie, and Freddie like looked around and was like looking for him? That was good. Because it was a bit more human then.
If you guys at the end when like Mike's busting into Freddy's, like something I would change, like it's just a small thing, but I think it's like probably the worst part of the film because it just makes no sense. Is it like it's like he's like making a ton of noise in the vent, comes out, hides right next to him, and Freddy just looks right at him and like just doesn't see him for some reason, and like Bonnie's looking at him right as well.
Is that when he's trying to save his sister? Is that
so like Bonnie's just looking straight at him and then like motions to Freddy, and Freddy just like turns around 90 degrees and just looks down at him and is just like and just can't see him. He's out of frame. But, like Bonnie already saw him, and they're just like. The only way I can excuse that is if like the spirits are just like fucking like zoning out and the animatronics are just doing the animatronic thing.
I was gonna say like
go on.
This is like I've just put it in the chat, but this is like the bit where I just kind of thought they're not scary. They're just like little goobers, you know.
just little guys.
Little goobers.
Yeah, when yeah, I mean literally. But
when
like the security cams, just like.
Nah, but just looking at them like,
slowly putting the cupcake in the vent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the animatronics since I saw the film, and like just looking at it in the little thumbnail, it's like they are so good. They're just so well made.
They are so well made. I just feel
think-
like sometimes they could have done with a little bit extra just to make them a little bit more threatening. I didn't feel like they were a threat. They were just.
There's just like
They were.
I mean, the one thing that turned me off from being scared by them was like I said, the whole bit in the middle where they're just making a fort together. I think
like that, though.
I mean, it was nice the juxtaposition of it, but it was they're meant to be scary, right? And I think the film as a whole, it would have been better if it had been more scary. And I think that bit in the middle really sort of humanized them, and
I think that's the point
that
though.
took away. Yeah, I mean, it's cool in a sense, but it took away from the fear of the animatronics, which is essentially, why I went in the first place, because I wanted it to be like a horror. I wanted to be scared. I wanted to be shitting myself in that cinema. And there was a few moments like the Foxy scare where I was a little bit, but I would have preferred it had it been more scary. And I think the juxtaposition of them being friendly took away from that.
Yeah, I think that scene got a lot of mixed reception, but I think what they were trying to show in that scene was that they are children still. Like
Yeah.
they
yeah.
are spirits of children, and they were playing with Abby, and
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's the fact that like Vanessa's like fine as well. She's like fine with him bringing Abby there until she gets electrocuted, and then she's like, "Now I'll fucking shoot you, man.
I
I'll
didn't
shoot
get
you."
Vanessa's character at all. I just didn't see the point of her. I
She's
felt
like
like
a
she was just there to tell the story because they
Yeah.
couldn't tell the story
Yeah,
in
they
any
she's
other
like
barely
a
way.
even-
B-Tech Amber Heard.
What?
What?
Wait, what?
She looked like a B-Tech Amber Heard.
She did a little bit.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
she's a white blonde woman. I don't think.
You're just implying that all like blonde women just look the same.
I mean, that's what Dan
They
said.
pretty much do. Hang on, let me do a side by side comparison.
Yeah, I felt like, but I understood sort of, like I said, I feel like if I watch the movie again, my opinion will change and I probably see things differently because the first thing I see, I sometimes struggle to take everything in. But like, oh my God. But like, I just felt like it's a bit of poor writing if you have to have someone explain like the plot of the story.
Yeah, they do perform a lot of telling rather than showing. That's why,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
why I say
it
like a
was
6. Like it could have
there's
been
a
way
l-
better, but it's not
th-
awful. It's
there's also like a lot. It felt very repetitive with the dream sequences as well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I was
I'd
like,
have to blame the budget on that one
oh,
though.
it wasn't terrible, but yeah, I can understand why they did it. I think the dream like theory thing was like another nod back to like a reference in one of the books or something, but I didn't know that.
I thought it was a reference to game theory, ironically.
Oh, I can't remember. It was a reference to something. I know that. And oh my God, does anyone else does anyone remember the child like I'm doing air quotes right now, jump scare when he was
Yeah.
like in the dream and it had like the black eyes. I was like, oh,
Actually,
that's
I
cringe.
think
That's
that was.
cringe.
I mean, I don't know. That kind of actually jump scared me. I think that was like the only one
Oh,
that
did
actually
it?
like made me jump. But
Yeah,
Oh my
but,
God.
in the dream when like there's got the black eye, someone said online like it looks like the crying child ghost.
crying child, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But that was very out of place. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, but yeah, I think I don't really see. I was never expecting it to be a horror. I was more expecting it as like a supernatural thriller. That's what I was expecting. That's
Yeah.
what I got.
Yeah. Also, Dan, they literally look the same.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the sequel will just be way better. I think they'll probably at least double the budget, and then it'll be. I think it'll be a lot better the second one.
Didn't
Yeah.
they like they got really good like money from it, didn't they? Like
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
They're currently sitting
Well,
at
it was like low
230 mil.
budget. And
230 mil.
Yeah, and their budget was 20 million. And let's say they had another 20 million for advertising. It's
That's
probably,
really good.
Probably less. But
Well,
like, on the high end, they've made 5 times their budget so far in the second week.
so unless they've already started like filming and like making the second one, hopefully they'll take some criticisms from the first film and then be able to sort of improve on the second one. I'm
Well, I
hoping
mean-
that
I
they'll
mean,
make like the
Shaggy-
second one, a bit more scary.
Yeah. I mean, Shaggy signed for a 3-movie deal with the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, didn't he?
Yeah,
So
Blumhouse.
yeah, so there'll definitely be more.
I wonder
Yeah.
if they're gonna like obviously he's dead, so he's obviously gonna be like all mangled and like
I don't think he'll be in the second
Shit.
one. I think Mike will go.
Ah.
I think Mike will go to the other location in like FNAF 2, and then he'll come back, and then like William Afton will come back in like FNAF 3.
I wonder what like so if he's not in 2, I wonder if they'll make the puppet the villain then.
Maybe, or maybe
Because
the
who would be the
anti-hero,
villain?
Garrett. Sorry, no.
Yeah, Garrett's obviously going to be the puppet. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
obvious.
It could just be. I don't think they even need a villain. It's just like Mike goes to the other location and tries to free the spirits, and they might choose just maybe Funtime, Freddie or something just to be like, or Mangle be like, or Ennard maybe. I don't know. As like the main one. That's like.
Oh my god, Ennard! I forgot about Ennard.
Yeah, but
I'm very interested to see what they do with the second film and like the story they're gonna go with because obviously like what can you do now? Like what actually happened? Like I don't understand why suddenly the building was falling down at the end of the first film.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
did it? What are you guys talking
Yeah, the entire building collapsed. It
It
was
was like
like
falling down. Obviously, like
yeah.
in the like later games, they start trying to they burn the building, don't they, at some point?
Yeah,
But I
like
was
in
like, why is
the,
it falling down?
the
The building
latest
in
one where you can move around. Was it Security Breach?
Security Breach was the most recent one where we were in the Pizzaplex.
Yeah. You go down into the basement and it's like
The
it's
first
like
location.
yeah, and it's the first location, but it's all like decrepit and you know destroyed and everything.
Yes, because they tried to burn it at some point. Like, this is where I'm a bit foggy on the lore. I don't know the lore very well in this bit.
What I think they'll do actually is I think they'll merge 2 and 3 together, so they'll have like Springtrap in the second game. But what I think they'll do with the third one, I think they'll just adapt Security Breach because if they don't, I have no idea why they put Vanessa in so early.
Yeah, but she's in a coma, but she's obviously going to come out of this coma. And I bet, like, this is just my opinion and theory. They're probably going to make her have, like, memory loss or something, and then she's going to get, like, I wonder if they'll make her mind controlled, like, in Security Breach.
Probably, but that's why I think they will have to make a movie about Security Breach because, like, if they had no intention of doing Security Breach, then they wouldn't have introduced Vanessa being a character from the Security Breach.
So there's
She
going
was
to be
mind
a yeah, in Security Breach, she was like mind controlled by William Afton.
But mind controlled by William Afton's alternate digitized consciousness affecting the Pizzaplex and her mind through a mask.
Yeah, it didn't make sense really to me.
Yeah, no, I watched Markiplier play through all of it, and I didn't get
the
that.
glitches and the bugs. Yeah,
But
but
you see the Freddie T-pose. Yeah.
T-posing Freddie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah, me too. Definitely go.
There's gonna be like a time skip, definitely. There's got to be a time skip where they're gonna probably like make a new location or something, or they're gonna like because if the other one exploded for unknown reasons, hello.
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty sure that the place still exists because like Abby was saying that like, can we go visit them? Afterwards.
Oh, I wonder if they'll make them like withered, like the withered versions.
Yeah, I think
that would be cool.
Versions, because then they'll do the like toy animatronics.
Yeah,
I think they'll.
And then like Toy Foxy
easily.
will probably become like Mangle by the end of like the.
But isn't like the whole reason why they were withered is because William tried to take them apart.
No, withered is because it's in a nightmare, right? Or am I thinking of the nightmare?
No, that's
You're
the
thinking of
fourth one, yeah. There's like 20 different like versions of them at this point.
The
Like,
nightmare ones are the ones made up by was it the crying child? Yeah, the crying child.
Supposedly, it's wacky.
I think it's pretty much confirmed, isn't it?
Maybe.
That like the whole events of like number 4 are the crying child because like he was being tormented by his brother.
Yeah.
Because basically like didn't like the daughter died. Was the daughter? Yeah, the daughter died first. So then he was trying to keep his son away from the place, wasn't he? So he was like getting his kid to scare him or some shit.
I think because in the games it would have been Mike who was scaring him. I think he was just like fucking around.
Yeah, Mike was like bullying the crying child, and then he like got him bitten in the night, the bite of 83, which is different from the bite of 87.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, this law's kind of a mess.
The law, it does kind of make sense. It's just hard to explain.
Kind of, yeah.
It sort of makes sense. I don't think there's actually like I don't think Scott's ever actually confirmed anything properly. I don't think, but like a lot of it is just speculation and just people trying to put like facts and like evidence together of what makes the most sense.
Yeah,
Wow, excuse you. I actually
sorry, smoking.
hello. He's probably smoking or something.
Yeah, I am. Anyway, continue.
I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the withered animatronics. I'm pretty sure it was like William was trying to take them apart because I don't know. I can't remember why. I can't remember why.
I wouldn't know. That's like beyond my knowledge at this point. But like, all in all,
It's because he really hated them and he wanted them to stop getting in his way.
Which is fair enough. I mean, they're like, they're fucking, the animatronics are basically serial killers at this point. So
Oh, didn't he? It's literally in a mini game, isn't it? You're playing as one of the animatronics, and then Purple Guy comes along and he's like, "Yeek," and he like just destroys you, and then you play as the next animatronic, and you see like the animatronics are all taken apart. I think it
Yeah.
was like him trying to dismantle them to like get rid of the spirits or something.
that was
Yeah,
two,
and then the
before
spirits will
Withered.
confront him, and that's when he becomes Springtrap, right?
Yeah, 'cause
It
that's
must be,
that what
yeah.
happens in the second one. But
Yeah.
all I can hope for is that the sequel, in terms of the movie, will just be better than the first, which I think it will be. I don't think it'll be hard, especially with like a high budget and more like eyes on the project.
Did you guys hear that Foxy's arm set on fire when
No.
they were
Really?
filming? Yeah,
God.
it was just like, yeah, apparently
tell you-
Foxy's set on fire, like, and they were just calmly was like, Foxy's arm is on fire. It's like,
Okay, one little detail that I really, really loved was the animatronics footsteps. They were so heavy and clanky that it's like have you guys all seen it?
I've seen the first
I have
one.
not. I know what it's about though.
Yeah, I saw the
There's,
first
there's this
one.
one bit where one of the kids is being chased by a leper, and it's just the footsteps are so staccato and they're just done beautifully. And that was the exact same in Five Nights at Freddy's. Every time one of the animatronics took a step, it was like this heavy clunking. And I think that just small detail works so well, and it was so good. And it just I reckon the footsteps just made them even scarier.
Yeah, I can agree, but the problem I have with the footsteps is I think there's this one shot of Foxy where like it looks like the foot is made of plastic rather than metal. It just doesn't look. If it sounds heavy, it doesn't look heavy. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like it's actually like a metal foot. So it's just like kind of like it's a bit weird. And it's like this one there's this one scene where like Foxy's I think it's when the guys are breaking in and Foxy takes out one of them, but it's just the animatronic standing still, being pulled along, basically T-posing, just like in the game. And it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's everything that we have to say about FNAF. I think.
I mean, there's probably a lot more that I forgot. Like, I usually like I would have like written out like a list of things I wanted to talk about, but I went to a Poppy service today for the Memorial Day, and then I walked the dog, and I was like, I forgot.
Full gore.
I
See?
forgot. So there's probably a lot I've missed, and I know after this is over, I'm gonna be like, ah, fuck. But I love talking about it, and I'm always happy to talk about it again and again.
Oh,
And
It is a
again.
very cool like the story as a whole. I love the premise of it. I love supernatural shit. So the
Me
whole,
too.
the whole concept of mutilated child bodies inside of animatronics and then them being possessed it's awesome to me. It's why I want to I'm thirsting for more knowledge of FNAF lore.
Yeah,
I'm kind of more into like existential horror and stuff,
existential, no,
which is why
Ooh.
I'm looking forward to the A24 Backrooms movie.
Like that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't really it doesn't agree
Is that
with me.
next year or is it?
I have no clue they were making one. Like, are the backrooms copyrighted by anyone?
Not really. It was just it was literally just like the whole thing started just off like a post from 4chan, I think. But yeah, but the movie's being done by Kane Pixels, who did like the series on YouTube.
There is one thing I just wanted to say. I forgot to say it. I'm going to say it now before I forget again about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I feel like they didn't really capture how dark and like gritty it really is. Like the whole like just scenario and situation. Like I know,
it's a lot more.
they go
war in
into
games.
they go into grim detail about a lot of the things in the games, and like in the first game you can literally see like your eyes hanging out of the suit if you die. But also there's like bits where it's like a news article clipping and it's like, oh, that the customers were complaining about like pus and blood coming out the suits, and it was like, that is fucking disgusting.
At the moment,
It's fucking like dark, and it's just very like.
I mean, it's mutilated child bodies. You can't
just
really
feel
get any
like-
darker than that.
I feel like they could have gone a little bit further with like perhaps just it being I don't know another word apart from gritty. Like that's the only word that comes to my head right now. Because if you think about it, I think if I remember correctly, Deadpool was the same rating.
In this
And
Deadpool was a 15, yeah.
And that was, if I remember correctly, wasn't there like decapitation and burns?
There was there was
was
lots of blood in that. Yeah,
but the difference is like.
But I think Deadpool was R-rated in the US, whereas
it was 15 here. Yeah, it's I don't understand why like
15
the
is the
ratings
weird
are
one.
different in different countries. To be fair, but
yeah. It
whatever.
just brings us back to the fact that I think FNAF should have been an 18.
I think 16.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're
Well,
gonna lose a lot of the fan base.
I think
you can't give 16 ratings to movies. It's 12, 15, 18, isn't it?
I think if they filmed it with the intention of it being 15 in America, then in Britain it would be more gritty, but while still having the same rating of 15 in Britain, because I think they'll just round up or down depending. So I think they rounded up.
Yeah.
With what it was. However, if it was more extreme with the American intention, then they would have rounded down to 15 for us.
It comes just round again to the fact that like you don't have to have gore, but I think there are a lot of the darker aspects of the lore in the games and the books were missing. It did not feel like a horror. It felt like
Supernatural
thriller. Supernatural thriller. It was fine. I had a lot of fun watching it. I liked seeing the Easter eggs. I liked seeing the animatronics. I was like, oh, that's really cool. But after it, I was like, man, I feel like it was just missing something that really made Five Nights at Freddy's how fucked up it really is.
That's exactly what I'm saying as well. There was something missing. It was good, but there was like something missing that could have made it great. Real quick, did anyone else know about the Sparky suit?
I did not, but I saw it and I didn't know anything about it, but a lot of people were very happy to see it, so that was nice.
So like back in when the first game was released, people like a theory was going around that you could see like a fifth animatronic somewhere. However, it was like photoshopped and completely faked, and that was Sparky.
But they made it like official.
So like in the film, there's like a old suit of a dog, and that's Sparky. So that's a reference to the like hoax that occurred in the back in the olden days.
Yeah, I heard also that the suit to the left of that in that scene was apparently meant to be Shadow Freddy, and I was like, yeah, but how? Isn't Shadow Freddy meant to be a hallucination or something? Like,
with the suit that they were gonna stuff Abby into, I was originally thought it was Baby, but like on reflection, it's like a suit from the books.
Yeah, I thought it was Baby too. I think.
Thought, yeah.
I don't know if it's a mashup between the two or if it is just the one from the book. I can't remember. It's called Ella, isn't it? Is it Ella?
I think so. I could be wrong though. But,
I wanted to say real quick. Did anyone else watch FNAF VHS or?
No.
Just hang on, FNAF VHS. Let me have a little look-see piece. Are those like fan-made videos? Oh my god, I watched them. They are so good.
So unfortunately, like the creator was like grooming someone or something. I think so. It's a bit of a yikes now, unfortunately. But
why?
Looking at it,
Every single person that makes good stuff that I like, it becomes a fucking pedo. I'm so angry.
It's not that hard not to. That's the thing. It just drives me mad. But But if we're like, if we're separating art from artist, I remember like at the time just thinking, well, this is. I remember at the time I was just thinking this is just Five Nights at Freddy's, but like scary again, because it captures like the vibe of what playing it as like a little 14-year-old was like.
I mean, look at that. That is horrific.
Yeah.
I don't really want that in my life,
Oh my
but
God, this
we
looks
have
like
it.
the fucking meme of like the crow. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The what? No, please see if you can find
Oh,
a picture
I
of
know
it.
the one. I
Okay,
know the one you're on
Yeah,
about.
grab an image. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let
It's
me
like
just.
I think I know. I'm not sure. I'm gonna wait for you to get it up.
I think I can't remember where I first
Is
saw
it is it a crow or is it where is it? I think
It's
I
not
know
like
what
a
you're talking about as
crow, but
well.
it's like it's like that weird like scary bird.
Is it a
There we go.
bird?
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
I'll post it.
Is it Momo? Are you talking about Momo?
Not Momo. This
What?
thing.
No,
Oh,
that's not what I'm
God.
talking about.
Oh,
talking about
that's what I
this?
was thinking of.
Hold on, let me see if I can find
This.
them.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Creepy
God.
that is though. It is so weird.
You have games
Me
on
when
your
I
phone.
open my front camera.
Oh my god, for real. I need to know what this crow thing is that you're talking about now. I love how this is derailed from Five Nights at Freddy's to crow.
I'm gonna have
Yes,
to.
that's just the autism, the ADHD.
Oh yeah,
It's like a
that's
mouse.
fine. That bird's not scary. He just looks really intimidating and he looks like a professor that's disappointed.
He
Oh my
looks
god,
like
I hate that picture.
He looks like
It's
he's gonna
so
mug
horrible.
me in the street.
That picture, like
Okay,
they did of William, is so unsettling. I hate
Found
it.
it.
But this is literally like what he looks like in the book. I don't understand, like, why do you look
He
like
looks
that?
like he murders children.
He looks like
That's him in the book. That's literally canon in the book.
he looks like Willem Dafoe.
He does. And also, all those like little pink marks, like where the like spring lock like pierced him, or what is that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I didn't read like the comic.
I don't read
It's
the
I
just
comics.
kind of like
fake
dropped off by that
tattoos.
point.
No, they're not tattoos, I don't think.
I thought that was just a meme. Is that what he looks like in the comics?
That is him in the comics. Yeah, I believe that is him in the books.
Who's AI
Like,
Eisenberg?
confirmed. Hang on, William Afton in comics. In the Silver Eyes, yeah?
I no clue.
That seems to be that seems to be yeah, this is literally him. Do not like the art style of the books at all.
This guy.
It does look like Cheek.
Oh, God.
Bro.
You know what I'm talking
What
about, though, yeah?
the fuck? Also, that picture of him like mashed with Matthew is hilarious.
That bird is a black bird. A crow has a grey beak. Blackbirds have yellow beaks.
Yeah, I said crow or blackbird. Couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, this is like him in the I don't like the I don't like the style of the comics. I don't like the art.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like I said, I don't know if what the hell? I'm sorry. I've just come across this. What is this? I don't know if the game canon and the like novel and comic
They are completely separate. There's like
canons are separate or okay, good, because that is him and he's now a cyborg fucking in a wheelchair. That is hilarious to me.
Oh, I want to be a cyborg so bad.
Do you really though?
Yes. Have you seen the tattoo on my arm?
No.
What do you mean? Of course you have.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like so confused then. I was like, huh? It's because I'm trying to find a picture. Here we go. This is the Springtrap failure in the comic.
Why does he look like this thing from SpongeBob?
It does. It does. Also, I just want to say that Scott isn't the best at writing because I'm pretty sure that it is canon. This is like dead ass canon that
Oh no.
Springtrap and I think MatPat have a
Yeah, I
like
feel like
he
I
gets
read.
pregnant or something.
What? William gets pregnant?
Hang on. I swear
God damn, William is
I
grand.
swear MatPat gets pregnant with Springtrap's baby and it is literally canon and like Scott, like the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, like wrote that and everything. I heard
There's
that
also
it
lots
was.
of
I don't
shit
know
he
if it's
just
true
writes
or
when he's
not.
going along, but
It's probably
like,
that. It's probably a meme just made up.
I mean, I definitely read something on like Twitter about it being like canon. I don't know if it was like canon to the books or something, but like,
No, I don't think it's like MatPat like word for word. It's like someone who's like a insert for MatPat.
yeah, it's like supposed to be MatPat, I think.
Oh, like what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not because obviously there's a lot of stuff online and you
There's
never know if it's true or not.
There's something in the
And
books that's like very similar.
yeah, but yeah, his writing's okay, but I feel like how many games are there? Let me just have a look.
I'm pretty sure
Final
he was
Fantasy
writing most of it as it
games.
went along. Like it was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
the kids and their dad, and then
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's like 13 or 14 games. Um, I think some of them are just like obviously
I think the only ones that really matter are one.
same
Yeah,
the same game but like redone. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of.
Yeah, in terms of like story, the only ones that really matter like 1 through 4, Sister Location, Pizzeria, or like 6, whatever one is called, and
The only
like
ones that
Security
count
Breach.
to Yeah, the only ones that count for me are obviously number 1, 2, 3, 4, Sister Location, and uh,
Here's the bridge.
Ultimate Custom Night is also canon, and Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Those are like the main ones for me.
I think.
But like,
Sorry, I
I feel
think.
like he started to milk it a little bit, and he was just not really sure like what the direction he was going with was. He was like, oh, I just want to like, while it's like still relevant, still get stuff out to make
Yeah,
money.
money grabbing, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think
because
so. I think he maybe or maybe not, but I think like it's on a better path now. Because like as many faults as Security Breach has, I think it's probably the best like game in terms of gameplay. Because I think it's just more interesting in both terms of like playing the game as well as like watching other people play. I think
it's definitely the right direction for sure. It's
Yeah.
a shame it had so many bugs and
was
problems,
yeah, it was
and the story wasn't that great. I remember like some of the endings were really like, what the fuck?
I think if
Like,
the overall gameplay experience was better, I feel like the story would have been appreciated more. I think that's like an easy thing to say. But I mean, I think
didn't
sorry, you
go on, sorry. No, I was gonna say, like, didn't he create like some characters and people said they were scary and that's why he made Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh yeah, he did
he
in his
was like,
Christian
he
game
was
days.
making like Christian games, and people like made fun of them and said that they were like scary animatronics. So it was like, right, I'll show you.
I love that he took that as an opportunity though, and he's become
Yeah.
so successful. I am happy for him. I genuinely am. I just feel like sometimes a lot of the stuff that he's done has been like, oh, that was definitely just like to try and get more money. I don't feel like we needed that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
A
I
bit.
think
There's
if
a lot of games that have done that though. So
like after like the first one's success, like I feel like I think he did it more so to keep up with the demands of the audience rather than money. Because after the first one's success, I feel like he had so much money, not just from the game but from merch sales and all that. I
yeah,
feel like if he didn't want to do any more, then he didn't have to. I felt like he continued on because he wanted to like give back to the fans. Like I don't really see him as like money grubbing, especially like now currently, because I don't think like he would need to make another game again and the franchise would just be as popular, because like ever since Security Breach release, between that and the movie, there hasn't really been a big FNAF update, but the like merchandising has been like still so strong.
I think, yeah, I feel like it was a mix of both wanting to expand on the lore, but also like make the most out of how successful it was, which is fine.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with
I
that.
agree.
I would do the same, to be fair. And look how successful it is. I'm so like happy for him. He's like got a movie in cinemas. Like that's insane. It's insane that it came from like a game that failed, and then he went and did a 180 from that and decided to do something with that instead of just nothing. And now he's got a movie and like a successful franchise. Like I am happy for
Well, I mean,
him.
like, if that's true, then like he's got like a 3 picture deal already, so he's got 3 movies.
Yeah, I just think it's great. He's working alongside them with the movies as well, isn't he?
I think he was only on set for one day. He did a lot of delegation.
I mean, like I
But
think
I
it
think
just
he wrote the treatment though.
there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of pressure when making video game adaptations like into like movies
I think they're better
because
nowadays than they've ever been. To be fair,
the only video game adaptations I've seen into movies is Sonic, Mario, and Five Nights at Freddy's. And Silent Hill actually as well, but I
Last of
don't.
Us was good recently.
Pardon?
Last of Us was really good recently.
I've not
Oh
seen
yeah,
that.
Last of Us.
Well, like I say,
I've
really
not
good,
seen
but
Last
like
of Us.
the game is
It-
better.
Last
it's-
of Us really
yeah,
good.
as far as they go, I think it's probably the best. Like,
I haven't even played the game.
It's better
I
than
need
it's
to
done.
play it.
The game is better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners,
everyone's good. Arcane.
Arcane, of course.
Arcane
I would
was-
say Castlevania, but like I
Ooh.
need to get caught up on it.
I would say no. Like I really don't like
Oh.
the Castlevania series.
Have you heard that they might be
Controversial,
doing
but
a Legend of Zelda live action?
I have,
God,
and
yeah.
I've been waiting for the moment this gets brought up because I am in so much physical agony. It's unreal.
Physical agony?
Yeah.
Oh no!
There's
Why?
so much we could talk about that. Maybe we should
Yeah.
hold off for next
do we-
time.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
next
that's
time.
gonna be a whole other can of worms, actually.
Yeah, because I don't know, guys, if you've heard, but I think it's posted in the chat before. But I was thinking the next one, if everyone's down, like maybe next week, because Scott Pilgrim is getting an animated series on the 17th.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be like binge watching that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely have a crack at that, and we could do the next one on that if everyone's down to check it out.
Yeah, I'm just looking right now at like the list of films based on video games. I totally forgot about Detective Pikachu, which I really enjoyed.
I didn't really like that.
I don't think I ever watched it
I
actually.
liked
Yeah,
it. Did
me
you not like
neither.
it, Ethan?
It was like fine, I guess. A lot of the Pokemon were ugly. I didn't really care about the characters. It was kind of lame, if you know what I mean. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. It's like I'm not gonna say it's like an awful film. It might be, but I haven't put enough thought of it, not enough thought into it to think whether or not it's objectively bad. I just didn't really like it.
You know what would probably actually do quite well as a movie? If they made a Portal movie, like off of Portal, I think that would be quite
That could
cool.
work,
Maybe
but
Or maybe
a TV show.
Half-Life.
I would say like
Half-Life
a
could be
short
like a horror film.
I think video game adaptations should exclusively be on TV, or at the very least have episodes, because I think like there's so much in a game than a single movie can't.
I would
do
say
well.
I would say it's better to do. I think you can do movies and you can do like TV shows, but I feel like it's better to do something that's set in like the same world rather than try for like a straight adaptation. Like I don't know if any of you watched Halo, but like Halo was awful. Like
Yeah, it was. It was
yeah,
really bad.
I
and
never
it's-
watched it. I skipped it.
And it's like the whole
yeah.
all of the games, Master Chief doesn't take his fucking helmet. That's what pissed me off. Doesn't take his helmet off, and then what? The first episode of the Halo series, he takes it off. And this is like,
Yeah, it's just it's not well, the first episode he takes off his helmet, the second episode he takes off his armor, the third
Mm.
episode he takes off his clothes. Like
It's like, bruh.
you've really revealed more of Master Chief than, we ever really
Exactly.
needed to
I
see.
started watching it at my last job, right? Just because I was bored, and I was. It was like I was so. I love Halo. It's the entire reason why I bought an Xbox, right? And I started watching it. I was gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be some cool ass, Master Chief against like the Covenant and all that. But no, he just takes off his fucking helmet, and he's basically a little bitch the entire series. And it's just like,
Yeah.
you're meant to be this hardened, soldier, and you're just like a little pussy.
I can't believe like I just mentioned Portal, and there is actually a Portal in the works. Like they actually were.
Oh.
Also, I forgot they're doing Silent Hill again. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
They're basing it off of Silent Hill 2 as well, which I'm.
Shouldn't they do one first?
Well, they
well,
kind of. Well, I don't really even know because they already did like Silent Hill the movie, but what one was that even based on?
Well, I was like
It was-
It was kind of like a mismatch.
It
Yeah.
was like kind of. So it was sort of like. It was a mixture of games, I think, with like
It's
little
like
Easter
they
eggs.
it's like
like
they
what
chucked
you
like
always
1,
do.
2, and 3 in a blender, I feel.
Well, they didn't. Yeah, Pyramid Head was basically in there just for fan service.
yeah.
The main character looked like Heather from number 3, and then they had obviously Alyssa, who
Oh, and
is
it
in the
had
first game.
it had Sean Bean and Kit Harington as well. I forget that.
It had Kit Harington in it.
Yeah, it did.
Game of
Uh,
Thrones. Yes.
Who did he even play? I don't.
John's
I don't.
no.
he was in the second one. There's technically two. There's two, so there's gonna be three.
Oh
he
yeah, the
was-
first one was called Silent Hill Revelation. Was it Silent Hill movies? I can't remember. Let me see if I can find it. Oh no, the first one was called Silent Hill, and then the second one was Silent Hill Revelation, and I heard like loads of people hated that.
Yeah, like, what decade was that? Was this film released in? Because he looks so young in that image.
It's 2012.
2006. 2006 was the first one, and 2012
He was in the
the
second one, which was
Yeah.
2012.
Jeez, they
Yeah.
look so different.
So obviously, I think were those two films linked?
I think so. Yeah.
So
I think the third one is the same director, maybe, but I think
Yeah.
it's like
I don't know why they made the main character look like Heather. It's really odd to me. It's obviously just an Easter egg, but
This was
it's
back-
cool. But it's just
This was
random.
back when like they didn't really care about staying true to the source material.
Yeah, they just did little Easter eggs, and that's what I think like a lot of video game to movies things do.
Well, I wouldn't say anymore. I think nowadays they realize they have to at the very least pretend like they care.
Well, the new one, Return to Silent Hill, it's gonna be like another Silent Hill movie. It's not linked to the previous two though. It's gonna be, I think, it's gonna be solely based on the story of Silent Hill 2, which I'm very nervous about, but also
I'll
very
still watch
excited.
it, but like
Can only hope.
I'm
I've no expectations.
Just Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite games, so I'm just very nervous, I guess, because I don't know. Like I said, I always go in with very high expectations, so then I get disappointed very easily.
Yeah, same.
Especially when it's something I'm very passionate about, like Five Nights at Freddy's or Silent Hill. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the rest of this year, I think the only thing I'm kind of excited for is the Scott Pilgrim animated series. I don't think there's anything else this year that's like I
yeah.
really care
Who the
about.
hell is that?
I mean, I was pretty hyped for Dune, but
That's
that's
pushed back
been
to next
delayed.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like also the new Ghostbusters was pushed back as well, which looks alright.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I don't know why they have cast this
Paranormal.
guy as James. Have any of you played Silent Hill 2?
Afraid
I've
not.
like watched like a playthrough
No.
or two. It's Silent Hill was more my brother's thing.
I don't
feel.
know why.
I still need to like really get into it, but
It's fine. I'm just looking at the
I-
cast, and apparently they've casted Jeremy. I can't say his name. Jeremy Irvine
Irvine.
as the main character, and I'm like, what? Do you ever see Warhorse?
No.
Okay. He's like
I watched Warhorse. Was he like the?
he was the main character, I believe.
He was the kid with the horse, the Joey.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that was him. He's so young. He looks way too young to be James. Oh, he's 33, actually. That clocks out. That's fine. Because James in Silent Hill 2, he's like in his late 20s, early 30s. So I guess that's fine. But I don't know. Hopefully it'll be
Actually, I'd like to
fine.
play Silent Hill. The thing is, right, Taylor is a little bitch, so he never plays any horror games, and I'm not playing any horror games by myself because I'll just be shitting myself. So that's the problem I have with playing horror games. I love horror games, But no, I can't play them by myself.
Nah, horror games aren't really like my thing. I've been wanting to play Silent Hill for ages.
Yeah, me too.
I've played through a couple like Resident Evils at this point, but Resident Evil's like kind of campy, so like it's still scary, but like I can kind of roll with it. I can kind of vibe with it a bit more.
Mm.
But then something like Outlast I couldn't play.
Oh my god! So me and my mate, we started playing Outlast, the first one, and we didn't finish it because it was just too fucking scary. We started playing it, and
Is Outlast the one with the video camera in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
mental asylum? Because
Yes.
we were playing one, weren't we, at the
Yeah.
flat?
but that's
That's
the second one.
Oh, so you're playing the first one, yeah?
Yeah, we were, and then that was quite a while ago, and then obviously we played the second one,
Yeah.
which I still want to finish. But yeah, no, we just stopped playing the first one because we just couldn't. It was getting to the point where we were just passing the controller to each other, and neither of us actually wanted to play.
It's like, no, absolutely not. Please stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love horror, but
Yeah.
I'm the biggest wuss ever.
Yeah,
I just
I mean,
find it really hard to actually play. The only horror game I played through to the end, there's a few. I played Dead Space 2 through to the end.
we started playing that. That's good.
Yeah, I need to play the
Dead-
remake still.
Oh, Dead Space 1 is gorgeous. I've never played it, but I've heard nothing but good things. It's scarier than number 2. Number 3, don't worry about it. It's not scary at all, apparently. It's just more action.
It wasn't
But
one
number
of the first
1 is
games
the
that
best.
had microtransactions.
Pardon?
I think that was Dead Space 3.
Yeah, Dead Space 3 wasn't it like the first game to have like microtransactions.
We don't talk about Dead Space 3 though.
That doesn't exist. What are you talking about? We can't count to 3 as like told by Valve. They don't know how to count to 3.
It was so great Dead Space ended after 2 games. I mean, they should have really made more. It kind of sucks, but
I know. I don't know I don't know what story they'd be able to tell. Though. I think it was all told.
I mean, there was a Callisto Protocol, but didn't people not really like
Oh,
it?
that was so disappointing. It apparently was just like
Yeah,
it was
I
so
don't
hyped
know.
up, and the whole concept it looked really good, but then it was just a massive flop, which is a shame. But yeah, Dead Space 1 is really good. I think Dead Space 1 is the best. Dead Space 2 is a lot of fun, a little bit more actiony. I've not played 1, I've only played 2. I really enjoyed 2.
It has like the eyeball scene.
Oh, no, I forgot all about that. It's terrible. I did it on my first try though. Took me about 20 minutes, but I did it. Very good. But the other game I managed to finish, which was a horror game, it must have been more than one. Obviously, I finished Silent Hill 2 and 3. I finished 4 and 5 as well. I've never played number 1. And I also played Amnesia, The Dark Descent. And that was because I was like subbed to PewDiePie, and I was like, "Oh, PewDiePie's playing it. I'm gonna play it." I was like 14, obsessed.
Yeah, I was too scared. I just watched PewDiePie and never actually touched it.
I don't really watch or play much horror stuff. Like this is like FNAF was like the first horror film I went to the cinema to see, and with a games like I really like a horror aesthetic, but not really horror games. I just kind of find it a bit boring. That might be a bad opinion. Like I love like that like eldritch like aesthetic like Cthulhu and shit. I love that kind of aesthetic when it comes to like basically anything. It's like
I think like eldritch horror, sort of like existential horror.
Not really the existential part. I just like the aesthetic.
I like
Bloodborne and stuff. I love Bloodborne.
Yeah. I think as
I
well.
love like Cthulhu stuff. It's great.
I think kind of like I think more recently I like a lot of like sort of like I guess sort of like nostalgic horror or kind of
liminal spaces and stuff.
Yeah, liminal space, digital horror, I think a lot. Things like just Mario 64. Like Mario 64 is just a horror game now.
Digital horror. What's that dark web one? We have to like find all the keys and stuff.
Oh, I know what you're on about.
Yeah, Markiplier played it. But that was terrifying. And I remember I watched Unfriended as well. and
Oh,
that
Unfriended.
yeah, and I'm a massive computer geek, right? So I
Yeah.
love digital stuff, and the scary thing about that to me is the dark web is a very real thing,
Hmm.
and there are people that are kidnapped and taken and murdered, and it's streamed and you can watch them, and for that aspect is what made those digital horror games, digital horror films so scary for me.
I like did what was it called? There was a game. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. I watched Jacksepticeye play it, and it was like something to do like it was all on a phone, and the phone was haunted or some shit. Oh, what was it
But
called?
I wouldn't have
Yeah, so
any knowledge on that. Um, yeah,
I will find it. It was I can't fucking say that. Simulacra.
Simulacra.
Yeah, and it was
Rings a
it was it
bell.
was actually very creepy.
I
I
think it's
really
like that
enjoyed
thing.
that. Yeah, it was
Well,
good.
I have to have a word for it.
No, it was good. It was. And does anyone else does anyone remember Slender Man?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Only by proxy.
That used to scare me as well.
The
Well,
thing is,
what do you
you
guys
play
think of the
Slender
first
now,
Enderman
it's
movie?
I never
oh
watched
I
it.
never
trash.
watched
I heard it
never
was
watched
awful.
it.
Trash.
Really?
Did you like
Got the,
it?
it's got the. I mean, I liked it, but I'm a slut for horror, so
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
just
But it got a lot of negative opinions.
I
Um,
thought that it came out at the wrong time. Like
mm,
obviously, I think by that point, I thought like Slender Man was kind of already done and dusted, and there was like the stabbing as well. Obviously, I think the film came out after the stabbing, and so I thought that like the idea that they just set it in like a high school and made it a film about teenage girls just felt really like
Distasteful?
distasteful. Yeah, very
what
distasteful.
stabbing? Was it stabbing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
some girls
2012 though,
like stabbed
wasn't it?
another girl in a forest.
It was like two girls stabbed this girl because they were like doing some weird ass fucking sacrifice to Slender Man or something.
Yeah, I feel like
It's like, to the mental asylum you go.
Marble Hornets did it right, and I feel like the movie just felt like it was trying to like it was like trying to kind of
Capitalize.
capitalize, yeah, off of the whole like
But it came out like 6 years too late though.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I feel like the backrooms is coming at like the right time because it's still popular and it's being done by like the actual guy who's made like the backroom series on YouTube
Well,
and it's A24, so
well,
you know it could be a bag of shit, but like
I struggle to think unless they I don't know what they could do to make it interesting because it's just like a guy. It'd be like a guy or a group of people just walking around in like a maze and like maybe attacked by a monster or two. Unless they like reveal some sort of like hidden like monster society is something that could be like a big good cool twist. I have no clue, but like it just being like
yeah,
a typical horror where it's just like people walking around in like identical rooms. That sounds
I
like
can
boring as piss.
I can see a direction for them to take it because I feel like there is like lore to like Kane Pixels' Backrooms series. There's like the whole like corporation and stuff. I can see directions they can take it, but
But, like it's
I'm
obviously
just
going to take
kind
place
of
after all that happened though. It's going to take place after people have
yeah.
already been. It's just like I just can't imagine. It could be good. It might be wrong because like A24s are sometimes pretty good. It's like I'm not too enthralled by them, but they do make good stuff.
Hmm. I think I'm kind of like I'm just going in open minded because I feel like it's one of those cases where I think at the end of the day, I respect it a lot more than like I did with the like Slender Man thing because that felt like they were really trying to capitalize, whereas here it feels like because the kid who made it, I think he must be like 18 now, surely, but like he was like 16, 17 when he started making it,
mm.
and
So, well, can only hope.
and I feel like giving him like an actual like Hollywood movie is I think it's really cool. I think it's really positive.
Yeah.
Hopefully it turns out well, but we're still like ways away. I assume. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, sorry. I
Hello?
thought everyone cut out. Do you want to?
Yeah,
do
I'm
you guys
kind of
wanna,
half.
You guys want to call it then?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
kind of
I
like
think
half
we-
away now.
Yeah,
So
we've been talking about, for 2.5 hours now. So, I don't think there's anything else left to discuss.
Yeah,
So,
I think we got some.
yeah.
It's good. Cool. So how do you guys feel about like same time next week, or would you guys prefer a bit more time in between?
I'm down for same time next week. Don't know about anyone
yeah,
else.
yeah,
but-
me too.
Kira, what's your
Yeah,
schedule
I
like?
think I'm fine. I don't know what I'm doing on. Yeah, let me have a look. What's the date next week? The 19th. I think I'm free. I should be free.
Cool.
So I'm happy to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like we basically spent. We basically really only covered FNAF, but there's like been a ton of announcements recently. So if like I think it'd be cool to talk about Scott Pilgrim. If not everyone watches it, there's plenty of other stuff that's been
Yeah,
coming out we can talk about.
I really need to talk about Zelda.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that next time.
Yeah.
It'll be a perfect time because we talk with like Scott Pilgrim, what's looking to be like a really good adaptation compared to like
Versus one that
yeah, and like fucking is anyone watching Invincible right now?
I need to actually like catch up.
Because I gotta talk about this with someone because I think the animation is just so bare bones. It's so lazy. But
I liked what I watched of season 1, but like I didn't really finish it. I watched like half of it and then I watched like all the clips of like Omni-Man, but I'm I'm gonna get caught up with Invincible. I think at least I'll try to.
whereas like plenty to talk about. Like we could even just talk about trailers and just introduce stuff that's being announced. But
My workmate's watching The Boys now, and
oh,
I'm
I hate
only
The
up to
Boys.
season 1. Oh, I love The Boys.
The Boys season 1 is good, but everything else I really hate. It just gets worse and worse.
I've never seen it. Oof.
They're not. I wouldn't recommend.
Nah, I think The Boys is great. I mean, I've seen like bits of like the later 2 seasons, and I'm still like down for it. I think it's like
No, I've seen it all. I love it.
yeah.
Oh, we need to get to that at some point. But yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and I guess we'll see each other same time next week.
All right,
Yes.
catch you
Good.
then.
Cool.
Goodbye.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Yeah.